What does a revolutionary blood testing company, a video rental empire, and a cryptocurrency giant have in common? They all reached billion-dollar valuations, captivated the world, and then collapsed in spectacular fashion. But the full story behind their downfall is more dramatic than you know. Were these simply bad business decisions or deliberate deceptions? In this video, we'll uncover the untold secrets and critical mistakes. Stay until the end, where we connect the dots between all three cases to reveal the one fatal flaw they all shared. It was a story Silicon Valley loved. A 19-year-old Stanford dropout named Elizabeth Holmes, aiming to revolutionize blood testing. Her company, Theranos, promised to run hundreds of tests from just a single drop of blood. The vision was intoxicating, attracting powerful board members like Henry Kissinger and investments from billionaires like Rupert Murdoch. At its peak, Theranos was worth nearly $10 billion. But there was a terrifying problem. The technology, a device called the Edison, simply didn't work. Former employees reported components falling off during tests and doors that wouldn't close. Even worse, to deceive investors and partners like Walgreens, Theranos staged fake demonstrations. They would collect a finger prick of blood, but behind closed doors, scientists would process the samples by hand on traditional machines, a total bait and switch. When whistleblowers like Tyler Schultz, the grandson of a board member, came forward, they were met with threats and intimidation from a team of high-powered lawyers. The House of Cards finally collapsed after investigations by the Wall Street Journal revealed that less than 10% of tests were run on their own machines. The SEC called it a massive fraud, and nearly 1 million test results had to be invalidated, putting countless patients at risk. This wasn't just a failed startup, it was a medical deception that endangered lives. In the early 2000s, Blockbuster was the undisputed king of home entertainment. With over 9,000 stores, it was a cultural touchstone, a place of discovery. At its peak, the company was valued at a staggering $8.4 billion. But lurking in the shadows was a new disruptive model, a DVD-by-mail service called Netflix. In a move that would become a legendary business school case study, Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix for a mere $50 million. It dismissed it. The then CEO, John Antioco, saw Netflix as a niche service, much like a buffet that could never compete with McDonald's. This was a catastrophic failure of vision. Blockbuster was addicted to its $800 million a year revenue stream from late fees, a model that Netflix's subscription plan made obsolete. By the time Blockbuster launched its own mail service, it was too little, too late. The company that once drove mom-and-pop video stores out of business was itself driven into bankruptcy by 2010, a victim of corporate arrogance and an inability to adapt. From $8 billion to $12 million in market value, Blockbuster's story is a masterclass in how an industry leader can miss the future. In the volatile world of cryptocurrency, Sam Bankman-Fried emerged as a golden boy. His exchange, FTX, grew to a $32 billion behemoth, backed by celebrity endorsements and major venture capital. SBF positioned himself as a responsible face of crypto, testifying before Congress and pledging billions to charity. But beneath the surface, the foundation was rotten. The collapse began with a leaked document from CoinDesk. It revealed that Alameda Research, SBF's private trading firm, held a dangerously large amount of FTT, a cryptocurrency token created by FTX itself. This was a major red flag. The finances of the two companies were supposed to be separate. In reality, FTX had lent billions of dollars in customer funds to Alameda, which then used this money for risky venture investments. When rival exchange Binance announced it would sell its FTT holdings, it triggered a panic. A bank run ensued, and FTX couldn't meet the withdrawal demands because the customer money was gone. A planned bailout by Binance fell through after a look at FTX's books revealed an $8 billion hole. FTX filed for bankruptcy days later. SBF was later convicted of stealing at least $10 billion from customers and sentenced to 25 years in prison. It was, as one observer noted, not just a financial error, but whiffs of fraud on an epic scale. So, what is the common thread that connects the fall of Theranos, Blockbuster, and FTX? On the surface, they seem different. One was medical fraud, one was failed adaptation, one was financial fraud. But the core fatal flaw was the same. A fundamental disconnect between perception and reality. At Theranos, the reality of a broken machine was hidden behind the perception of revolutionary science. At Blockbuster, the reality of a digital future was ignored for the perception of their unchanging physical empire. At FTX, the reality of stolen customer funds was concealed by the perception of a legitimate, booming business. These stories teach us that no matter the industry, tech, retail, or finance, when leadership becomes more focused on crafting a compelling story than building a solid reality, collapse is inevitable. The fall of a giant is never just about one mistake, but a series of choices that prioritize illusion over truth. Which of these corporate collapses fascinates you the most? Was Blockbuster's failure the most avoidable, or is the sheer scale of the FTX fraud more shocking? Let us know in the comments below. If you learned something new, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the secrets of the business world.